This lesson is for Module 6, Lesson 10. You know what? I had a party last night and I had a whole bunch of friends come over. And of course, we started talking about math because that's what I like to do with my friends. So I was telling them how you can count with your counting sticks, and we were practicing doing that. And then I said, oh, well, if you have 10 ones, you can actually put them together to make a group of 10. And that blew their mind. So I said, okay, this is how you do it. You put your hands together. And I saw them sitting there and I'm like, oh my word, that's so great that you guys have all these groups of tens. Hey, let's write a number sentence. So I'm going to go ahead and divide my friends into rows. I'm going to add the top number of groups of tens to the bottom row of group of tens. So here we go. I said in the top row there were 4 tens, and in the bottom row there are 5 tens. And if I add 4 plus 5 together, I know that that's 9. If I didn't know, I could just say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I told my friends, hey, that's the way that I would add the say 10 way. I would say 4 tens plus 5 tens equals 9 tens. And that's wild because they did not learn the say 10 way when they were in school. I said, okay, let's talk about the way that you learned, the regular way. I said, go ahead, break apart your counting sticks and hold them out. Whoa, look at all those tens now. Ooh, very exciting. All right, so those are all the ones that they had. And I said, okay, now I can show you how to do it the regular way. Again, I'm going to divide them into rows. It's just easier for my good brain. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know that there's 40 on the top plus 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 50 on the bottom. And that's going to equal what number, friends? Ah, yeah, 90. Whoa. They were so excited to figure out that there were 90 counting sticks just hanging out in our in my house. Very cool. So, I'm actually so glad that I just had this party because it actually is going to help us with our learning goal today. Our learning goal says I can add and subtract groups of 10. And that's exactly what I did with my friends last night. Now, when we are adding and subtracting groups of 10s today, we're going to do it the say 10 way and also the regular way. Are you ready? Here we go. Here's a whole bunch of fireflies. Now, I see that there's kind of a chunk on one side and then 2 off on the side. So we're going to do an addition sentence adding those all together. So let's see. I'm going to start with the 6 that are together. I'm going to go ahead and say I see 6 tens plus 2 tens equals, how many tens do I have all together? Okay, if you're not sure, although I think you just shouted the answer at me, you can do it. You can find the answer 2 ways. You can say 6 and add up to 6, 7, 8, or you can just count them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 groups of 10. Now, I told you we're going to do the say 10 way, but we're also going to do it the regular way. So if I have 6 tens, that's actually what number? Ding, ding, ding. 60. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 tens, which is 10, 20, 20. And then I'm going to have 8 tens all together, or 80. If I wasn't sure, again, I could count by tens, the different parts of the group, and then count by tens to add them all together. We have been working with tens a lot, so you're not like my friends who didn't know how to do it the regular way and the say 10 way. You probably have a better understanding. So I hope this is, excuse me, a good review for you. Let's try another one, but this time, can you look at your dry erase board and a marker because I'm going to have you practice a little bit. All right, you ready? Here we go. All right, whoa, look at all those chickens. I know my friend Riker is going to be really excited to see them all. We're going to go ahead, those are groups of tens at the barns. We're going to go ahead and write a number sentence. First, the say 10 way. Can you go ahead and press pause, try to figure out, I just want you to add the 2 rows. So look at how many groups of 10 are in that top row, and then add them to the groups of 10 in the bottom row. Press play to check yourself and see how you did. Okay, ready? I see in that top row that there are 7 tens. In that bottom row, I see that there are 4 tens. So I said 7 tens plus 4 tens, and that's going to equal all the tens I have together, which is 11 tens. Is that what you got? Oh, good job, friends. If not, just double check. Sometimes we have to go slow when we're counting. All right, tricky part yet. Now I want you to write that the regular way. So start with the 7 tens, work through the 4 tens, and then, ooh, tricky, the 11 tens. Go ahead and write your number sentence the regular way and press play to check yourself. All right, friend, here we go. Did you put 70 plus 40 and then last equals 110? You did? Oh, you're so good. If you made a mistake by accident, that's okay. We know 100 has 10 tens, so 100 plus 10 more, that would be 110. If you weren't sure, you can count by tens 11 times on your counting sticks. All right, let's try another one. Erase your board. All right. Ooh. Excuse me. This one we're going to do together because this is a subtraction problem, so it's a little bit trickier. With subtraction, we want to start with all of the tens to begin with, and then we'll subtract out the ones that are x'd. Now, we have to, when we find our first number, the whole amount, we have to count the x's with them. So I'm going to count all of the tens that I see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I started with 7. We have to write the whole amount because we have to know what we're subtracting from. Okay? How many did I subtract out? You'll know because I put a big X on them. Yeah, 2. So if I had 7 tens and I'm subtracting 2 tens, how many tens do I have left? Ding, ding, ding. 5 tens. If I was going to write the regular way, can you go ahead and press pause and try it on your own? And press play to check yourself? Okay, so I know 7 tens is 70, and then I'm subtracting 2 tens, or 20, and that's going to equal 50. All right, did you do a nice job? Ah, good job. On the count of 3, super clap. 1, 2, 3. Rock stars. All right, I'm going to have you try a subtraction problem all by yourself. This time I did 10 towers. First, I want you to go ahead and do it the say 10 way. Can you press pause while you write a number sentence? The say 10 way? Remember, that first number should be all of the pieces together because we have to start with the whole amount before we can subtract. Press play to check yourself. Ready? Okay, so I started with 8 tens and then I subtracted 3 tens. Oopsie, Miss Arwood, what are you thinking? Oh, I got it all mixed up. It's okay because the answer kind of sounds the same. I made a mistake. Do you see what I did? Ugh, what was I thinking? Hang on, let me fix that. There we go. Now I fixed it. Clearly, I should have checked my good work before I started showing you everything. All right, so now I have 8 tens minus the 3 tens. I know that because I subtracted 3 groups, and then that equals 5 tens. If I'm going to write that the regular way, can you go ahead and try it the regular way and then press play to check yourself? All right, so 8 tens is actually 80. You're right. So minus 3 tens, that would be minus 30. And then my whole amount that would be, or then my other part that would be left over would be 5 tens or 50. All right, hopefully you were way more successful than I was. Oh, what a disaster. My learning goal says I can add and subtract groups of tens. Thanks for helping me out on that last problem when I was making mistakes. But overall, we've been doing really well. I want you to go ahead. It's your turn to try it out. I want you to go get this exit ticket from your teacher. Be careful because number 3 and number 5 are subtraction. So make sure you start with the whole amount. Now, when you're doing your addition or subtraction sentences, if they're divided into groups, like number 1, I see that there's 50 altogether, but there's only 20 in the top row and 3 in the bottom row. Those are the parts that I would add together to equal the 50. Use the rows to help you write a number sentence. Okay? Good luck, friend.